Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome. Welcome to the Little Reader's House. We are celebrating a return to regular transmissions. I don't know about daily, but I do know that there's more, darling. I'm looking over here at my hand and making some theatrical gestures. There's more. More. Can you believe it? I'm delighted, excited. It's good to be home. It's good to be back, beautiful soul. So welcome. If you're new to the house, here we do readings, we do channeling, we do skits, we do singing. I'm the little meditator, the little singer, the little storyteller, the little writer, and ultimately the little reader. And maybe at my very, very core, my very, very essence, as my friend recently wrote to me in a beautiful, beautiful message, the little heart opener. And in a not so coincidental coincidence, that's the theme of today's transmission. Meet, well, not meet, if you're new, meet this beautiful tumbled emerald stone, raw emerald. And if you're not new, you know how this goes, and it's amazing to have you back in the house. It's an honor to hold continued space and presence with you. Check that out. Isn't it lovely? And the way the sun is shining in, it's a moment, as the kids say. Well, not just the kids say that. Everyone's saying everything these days. These days. The last time we left off here in the house, we were talking about global shifts. We were talking about shedding skin, and this repeated theme kept coming up over transmissions, over and over again. Everything's changing. Shifts are shifting, and Spirit says regularly, that's a tale as old as time, shifts and changes. What has altered is our perception and our sensitivity to those changes. So where there were constantly leaps and bounds occurring in the expansion of consciousness, we were just like, la la la, wake me up when I die. That was the vibe, dearie. But now, it's like going to sleep doesn't even fix the situation. You go to sleep, you're expanding in your dreams. You're doing shadow work in your dreams. Now, what do these terms mean to the newcomers? I'm sure someone will drop some stories, some tales of their experience down below in the comments, because we have a beautiful sharing community that enjoys opening their heart. But to put it in a real succinct manner, this idea of shadow work and light work, consciousness expansion, it doesn't even have to be placed into spiritual terms. It's the simple act of developing the witness perspective, shifting away from the little I, as I believe Eckhart Tolle would say, if you're familiar with books like The Power of Now, into a greater witness perspective that takes the entire moment on as identity. I'm everything. Not just this and whatever it can get me. I'm the walls of the room. I'm the nature outside. I'm the fan spinning around up there. I'm the light that I've put here. I'm the materials. I'm the floor. I'm whoever's in my space. I am the moment I am. So heading in that direction, when I say it doesn't need to be spiritual, it doesn't. You can go into science, one of my favorite personal religions, and look at data about how grounding oneself into the present moment, also known as meditation, affects the body psychologically, physiologically, biologically. Throw your logically on to the end. Now I'm just making shit up, dearie, but no, it's true. Increased gray matter, increased white matter, nervous system regulation, decreasing risk of heart attack. I mean, you know these things. Go forth and research if you want to. We don't have to keep it oh so esoteric. We can be real black and white and data driven, if you like. But that raises a good point, and I'm glad you went there. Thank you. Ultimately, at the end of the day. When we open our hearts, we're releasing a lot of attachment to the way that we frame reality. So you may have a preference for science, or you may have a preference for religion. You may have a preference for spirituality, or you may be, there's a word for this, not omnipotent. You may be. If you are, email me on the side. But you may be into accepting every way of thought, everything as truth, everything connects. However you name it and frame it, beautiful soul, when we open the heart, we're releasing attachment to all of the framework. The mind will always be in this pattern-based form of operation where it assigns definitions, categorizations, analysis to that which we witness. That's good. That's bad. Hot. Not. Safe. Not safe. Something I want. Something I don't want. The list goes on, and the mind does its little dance. It does its little dance, darling, into the end of time. But here's where I shut up, and spirit starts talking. And it's a little odd because my mouth is still going to move, and sound will still come out of this body. Maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon. Hi. Beautiful, beautiful soul. Folks, human beings, beautiful, radiant lights that occupy these pieces of earth. These pieces of earth that were assembled or evolved to represent the planet itself. More than the planet even. Every living creature on it. They're essences of so much of earth. And so much more in these vessels. And the lights that animate these vessels are having a tough time staying in form, human form, at this juncture in time, space, reality, as long as we continue holding on to life through the mind. Life through the mind. In simple terms, and I'm resisting saying it, but Spirit will continue to bring it up until I vomit it out, so I'm here to do my job and do it well. I'll say it. Folks are losing the will to live. The will to live. Because of a mind-based reality. There's a pain to daily existence that most everyone, including children, and every new generation realizes it younger and younger as linear time continues to move forward. Our perception that something is not right about the way that we're living. Horribly not right. And historically, this has been remedied with the great wait. Don't worry. Something's going to come and save you. Either a figurehead or a world event. We've got conspiracy theories. We have characters. We have leaders, politicians, you name it. Cataclysms, catastrophic world events, so many things. These predictions have been created to put the mind at ease. What a prediction does is create a false sense of peace. It says, you can stop thinking about this topic because you have a thought that continues to appear in your mental realm. It's bothering you. Here, take this piece, plug it in there, and shut the hell up. Ring. So for those who are worried about the system, the earth, all this work that we do, all this time that we spend in occupations that don't touch the heart, all this illness, all this strife, all this war. Well, the world will end at some point. Bling. Put that in there. Put that in your pipe, smoke it, shut up. Oh, someone's going to fix it. Bling. Put that in there and you should just shut that up. Yeah, the world's pretty much doomed. Put that in there, shut up. It's all originating with thought, the worry, the fear, because of a sensed imbalance. And then another thought, a promise, is made to just kind of put key in hole, turn lock, peace of mind. And that worked for a long time. I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of years humanity has been predicting the end of days or solutions, the new earth. I'm certain there are more. The rapture, a personal favorite that I was raised on. And it was just a way to say, hey, you can take a little bit more of this mind-based reality. Just shut up. I want to say bend over, but I have no interest in disrespecting any kind of kinks. And that would be a disrespect to bending over. So shut up and carry on. No one expected that to take the toll that it's taken on human consciousness, but it's been a great toll. As with every pain, every wound, it's created cracks that have allowed light to escape from inside. These thoughts about life sucking, these mental observations about being overworked, overstressed, underloved, underconnected, medicating with substances, experiences, self-harming behavior, even so-called positive things, breaks from reality like great vacations. Sometimes the medicine works. Medicine works if it's in the proper dose. That's medicine, is the exact right dose for what is needed. But what's happened is that this has gone from medicine to poison because the dose of distraction has had to raise to match the degree of imbalance. And all we've known how to do at this point is recognize that imbalance mentally as thoughts like, this is wrong, 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 wrong. Everything about this life experience, wrong. Not everything, but the great foundation upon which it all sits. Wrong. Minds recognize this. And as pleasure continues to go up with amenities and technology, it's not like society at large isn't sitting in the most comfortable position that it's sat in for the last few thousands of years. I'm eating a hair. It was delicious. We have access to cooling and heating and electricity and smartphones, transportation of all kinds. There's a lot of access that many, many, many people have the ability to utilize as resources. And yet it's all built on a frame of mind, on an analysis-based world. It's all centered on thought and thinking. So humanity has adapted, tried to make the best use of its resources. I'll work, then I'll earn, I'll do what the system says do that makes sense. I'll get married. I'll settle into the home unit. I'll settle into the religion. I'll do as those before me have done. Or I'll strike out and try something new, but in the path, of somebody else. Mental. And I don't mean crazy. I know that mental can be slang for crazy, but that's not what I mean. I simply mean using the mind to keep on living. And the point I'm laboring toward, beautiful soul, at the approximately 16-minute mark, is that it's not working. And that's okay. We're exactly where we're supposed to be in terms of human evolution, in terms of consciousness expansion. Death leading to rebirth. It's a recycling process, if you will. Where we're touching the heart today. And I don't mean the organ, although feel free to put a hand over your heart. Mine's center of the chest, heart chakra. It's this area where, when it comes to guiding and leading meditations, I often bring fellow meditators and myself back to this space. Where we're touching the heart today is to acknowledge how much life in the mind hurts. And how, if you, beautiful soul, have found this video through being a dedicated subscriber or just wandered onto your, it might resonate if you felt wrong. Life has felt wrong. And it might particularly resonate if you've given up on that, trying to make it right. And that's exactly a beautiful place to be. We've built a world on mind that is very robotic. It mines the resource of the light within. It uses the human vessel to acquire, to produce, to expand empires in a way that serves those who operate their mental container. Most devotedly. We call them often billionaires and CEOs and real estate moguls and financiers. Just made that one up, but it sounded good. Individuals who have been in the business of using the mind for a long time as a tool to acquire, to possess. Spirit's aware that even those individuals understand that the system's not working. This is not to pit anyone against anyone. Oh, you naughty CEO, how dare you? No. Then we'd be back in the mind, trying to Solve a problem of the mind with the mind? Nay. Not Spirit's style, and not the direction of our evolution. So we're not shaking a fist or a finger at anyone. Instead, we're just recognizing that some beings were placed in positions where they were at the forefront of investigating, developing, and growing the human connection to the realm of mind. They've done that. They've pioneered that front. We got it. We know what the mind's about. Possess, acquire, expand your empire. Someone write that down. But that's over now. It's not sexy anymore. It doesn't provide the same thrill as it once did. Nor do the distractions. Well, shit. If I can't acquire my millions and get happy, and I can't distract myself into numbness using drugs, sex, video games, and food, I'm sure there's more, but abbreviated list, what am I going to do? Just sit back and wait to die? You're not alone if that thought has crossed your mind. And in a way, it's happening. But it's not a total death. We won't be laying down our vessels just yet, beautiful soul. If you're here, you've found yourself in the wave of human consciousness that is going to further a new human experience. Yeah, you guessed it. It's the realm of heart. Yes. Correct. And it will be done by... Oh, shit. I wasn't going to bring that up that soon. But I'm going to say it. It will be done by practicing shifting away from experiencing human life through the mind nonstop. Shifting into experiencing human life through the heart. And you already do that so much more than you know, beautiful soul. So much more than you know. It happens when you decide to put your to-do list down and take a moment to enjoy where you are, to fully have a conversation and see another soul, to listen to music that gives you full body chills, to stare off into space, not disassociating, although to look out into the sky at nature, at trees, and just be there, to breathe, to really enjoy a meal, to put aside your initial judgments about a person for either something you didn't like physically about them or something you didn't like behaviorally about them, and hold space and presence with them anyway, even if the mind is judging the heck out of everything they're saying and doing, and yet some other part of you decides, I'm still going to be right here. I'll still listen. If you're in customer service, you've probably experienced this a lot. Every time that you recognize that there's a part of you bigger than the mind, beyond the mind, that you actually do have the ability to hear your thoughts go by and not react to them. To be in conversation with one person or more, feel an intrusive thought, as it's called, bubble up to the surface. And some aspect of you is able to let it go by. Whenever you tap into that other aspect of you, the part that can see the mind as just a few inches away, recognizes that your identity doesn't always have to be what I think is true, what I believe is true. Everything that goes through my head is reality. Anytime you can see that, oh, no, I can let there be a beat. I can let there be a little bit of space between me and my mind. You're doing it. You're doing it. And you do it so often. What will happen in the coming days, months, years, for the wave of human consciousness that you are riding and leading, beautiful soul? And I assure you, if you're here, if you're here, you are at the forefront. That's not a superior place to be, by the way, so don't get too excited. It's not superior or inferior. It's just a little bit ahead in terms of linear time than some of the glorious souls right behind you. What will happen is you will continue to develop this awareness that you aren't just a mind, that you're not the victim of everything you think. Then you'll begin to point that awareness around. Well, wait a second, if I'm not just a mind, then I can kind of shift myself to different places, like the body, for instance. I can be in it. I can actually be embodied in my body. This is amazing. For those who are familiar with things like targeted strength training, you know this. When you lift a weight, when you're doing that bicep curl and you feel, I'm assuming this is the bicep, I hope so. When your trainer is yelling in your ear like, 1 more rep, and you're like, oh, your mind backs up and your awareness enters the bicep. Suddenly, you are a bicep and your mind is awfully quiet, or if it's not quiet, you're just not in it. What? And there are ways to fill your entire body simultaneously. There are ways to fill targeted parts of your body. There are ways to fill, and when I say fill, I mean fill a space with you, awareness. Energy centers, like the heart, for instance. There are ways to become conscious of subtle energies, subtle little energies flowing by. And then begin to fill people, places, things with your awareness. Oh yes. We could talk about the magical art of developing superpowers simply by practicing the possibility that you do not have to live the rest of this human existence trapped in here. Because this has become misery land. Misery business, some might say. The good news is, this is just a sliver of the human experience. We've evolved to think it's the whole deal. For a while it was. Human consciousness needed to be in the mind to flesh it out, to develop it, to expand it, to evolve it. But that's done now. We're on to new territory, darling. We're pioneering. We're headed to the promised land, the land of heart. This is how we'll rebuild this. Not my sternum, the heart and yours, is how we are going to rebuild. No, Spirit has me take the re off. We're not rebuilding. This is how we're going to build. And the foundation's all. Insert expletive here. It's all messed up. We wouldn't rebuild on this. We're starting something new. And it's already happened. It's already happened to you. Your anxiety, your frustrations, depression, always feeling like you're hemorrhaging the energy, everything we've talked about before here in the house. It's all there for you if you want to go back and learn more. But henceforth, we're going that way. I don't know what's up there. The specifics have not been revealed to yours truly, your humble host. Well, that's not entirely true. There are a few things. Deeper connections, meaningful occupations, a paradigm shift in terms of how currency and finance operate, loads and loads of creativity, unbridled passion, but not in a self-harming way, in a self-healing way, and palpable, permeating love. That's what's up ahead. If you want to ride into that reality, stick around. We're going here. We're going home. Vance Joy, we're going home. If we make it or we don't, we won't be alone. But we are gonna make it. We are. We're already on the way. So beautiful soul, you're not alone. You never have been alone. The heart is your vessel moving forward. Don't you forget it. As you start to slip into the mind, and even now, craft an action plan. Well, what does this mean? Well, what do I do? Well, what should I change? Well, how do I optimize? Nay. You breathe. You settle. You trust. I'll help guide the rest. If you love today's transmission, which I think I just mispronounced, smash that like button, baby. Smash it. If you want to stick around and you're like, yo, teach me about the heart and shit like that, subscribe like you've never subscribed before. To the degree that you might even do that you might scream like that lovely child outside. Well, I was going to say that bell button so that you can see when the transmissions come up, because I looked at the data on the YouTube thing and it said that so few subscribers are notified about the transmissions, and I was shocked to find that out. So if you want to be notified so that you can meditate with us, watch with us, feel with us, then the bell icon is your friend. If you want to comment and tell me about the life, my goodness, that gives me life. So please. Also, we've got a rich community down there of regular viewers who do show up every time there's a post. So feel free to tap in and share with them. Make friends. These are amazing, powerful people down there. This is not a joke. You don't know who you're sitting with until you talk to them. And then finally, do share if you feel this would resonate with your homies. And if you want to go deeper still, there is a $1.11 per month Patreon group where it's a much smaller and more intimate setting with different types of interactions, like a chat, a community. You can talk there if you're ready to crack your heart all the way open. But one step at a time, beautiful soul. Don't rush it. You'll move as the spirit moves you. Check out the video on free will if you want to know more about that. Until we meet again, I am sending you all of the love that I've got. It is always more. It's never less. Because you, my sweet, sweet friend, you light in form, you animating a piece of this earth simply to bring light to a planet that desperately needed and desired it, are so very worthy of love. Yeah. All the love. Bye for now.